simply getting started. Cause we ain't got no time to waste, I don't mind.
Hey, what is up, guys? Welcome to the channel, and make sure you guys do subscribe to Vader's channel. We're going to be doing a Nikke account showcase, and I'm going to give you guys some tips and tricks that I've learned on the way through Nikke. Anyway, let's talk about the things you're going to be introduced to right away when you open up this game. You're going to have to go to the tutorial, and then you'll unlock your first SSR character by random. There's going to be many options that you just end up getting on your account, but for the most part, that shouldn't matter too much unless you get something completely terrible. If you can, and if you want to put in the time to reroll, there's going to be a lot of good options for you to start with. I think Volume, Litter, Scarlet, White Snow, Senti, if you can get her, Dala, those are all great starting units to get. Obviously, there's going to be a bunch of different ones, but those are just some really good starter ones that I can name off the top of my head. Now, when it comes to playing the game every day consistently, you will get rewarded for it. There's a day-by-day event that lasts for, I don't know how long. I think it's until you complete it. It says 88 days remaining, so I guess it's just for everyone in general. Whenever you do get enough points, you will get a free SSR character, which is a really powerful character. And I already got a dupifer and a lotter. And you'll be able to get, nice 7 currencies and these SSR molds that if you get 50 of them, you can smash them together and have a 61% chance to get an SSR and a 39% chance to get an SR. My personal experience, most of the time, like 90% of the time, I am pulling SSRs. It's really cool. You can get more of these through summons too. You can spend summon currency to get SSRs if you want to. Most people shun you from it, but honestly, the whole point of playing this game is getting more units, so do what you want. Eventually you'll be able to do all these. I've still yet to complete all of them. I'm missing day 13, 12, and 11, and then I complete the whole thing. I'll get these done over time. But yeah, it's pretty generous, and it does seem to match up perfectly with the day-by-day progression. For me, I was pretty much always caught up with the progression. I think the first time I kind of fell off my progression is around day 10 because I had to do certain things. But for the most part, the first 9 days, you should be able to keep up, or the first 8 days or whatever, you should be able to keep up just fine with the progression. It doesn't matter if you fall behind because you can still unlock these throughout, your time playing. Now, when it comes to the collab that we have right now, Chainsaw Collab, for me, overall, it is very free-to-play friendly and new player friendly experience. There's a lot of resources to be got out of the events, and relatively, it's a most enjoyable event that's still going on. You do get a free SSR, or a free SR and a dupifer free too, so I'm assuming the last dupe should be also free. Is there anything else that should really break down before we go into any of the actual, other lobby thing? Yeah, the cash shop. So whenever you do summons, you'll be able to get this currency, right here. It's like Dokkan. Think of these are Dokkan coins. So the gold tickets, once you get 200, you'll be able to buy your first legit copy of a character. So 200 summons worth of, I don't know exactly how you get these. I think whenever you pull SSRs, you get these tickets. You'll be able to get 200 of these tickets. You can purchase, limited or exclusive units whenever they're on the rotation. Now for the silver tickets, you'll get more a little bit faster. You'll be able to buy dupes for characters. These are not just straight out characters, they're dupes. So if you don't own a unit like Volume, you can get her dupe, and whenever you get her, you can put the dupe in. These also are on a reset. It seems like every 24 hours or something they do switch, but it won't matter for your first probably month playing. I've been playing for almost 3 weeks, or about 3 weeks, and I still don't have enough to summon because I'm saving my summons for the next banner. So that's something that's really cool. The dupe system is and the dupe system and the pity system is a little bit different than most pities. Now, when it comes to their actual character rates, it's a 4% chance to pull an SSR, which isn't great. It's not bad. It's not great. It's just the main banner unit has a up rate on the other SSRs, right? So there's a chance you don't pull the main unit, even though they have much higher rate, right? There's also a friend banner in this game that I should mention that you can actually pull SSRs on about a 2% chance. I've never pulled one myself, but the fact that they put SSR units in the free banner that's for friends is really awesome. Now let's go ahead and go into the more complicated stuff. Um, Whenever you progress through the story, you're gonna unlock this thing called a synchro center or synchro device. And what this little device is I would recommend you guys level up your SRs with the dupes, 5 of them, and just keep leveling them up as your main units to put your resources in. And whenever you unlock the Synchro Center, you can slap in your SSRs without dupes to level them up to meet the level of your unit of the 5 that is the lowest level. So for example, if you have a 4 level 100 units that you're putting your resources in, the 5th level is, let's say, level 90, your whole roster will be level 90, right? That are in the Synchro Center. So try to keep all your units relatively close together on levels. You can unlock more slots for free, so do not spend your crystals to unlock these. To unlock these, you just have to level up your Tactics Academy by collecting the hidden little micro glass thingies on the map. You'll go into a map and you have to collect them. They're kind of like little white shiny things on the map that you have to go find. And you'll unlock the ability to build certain buildings to make it to where you can unlock and level up your tactics center. So that's really, really cool. There's also daily bulletin boards that you can send people out and get extra rewards. And then on top of that, there's the recycling room, which is kind of important. You'll be able to level up your recycling room, and doing this will give you extra stats for your characters. Over time, you'll just be able to do this. Whenever there's events, people will tell you, oh, you should definitely do this, and I agree. But for me, I always go for the summons first because those are more fun to me. Is that pretty much everything here? The elevator. Eventually unlock the elevator, and what's inside the elevator is going to be 1 of 3 units that you can pick from to rehab them. It's going to take you, I think my buddy and I calculated it, it takes about 2 months to fully unlock the character to be played, but it is an SSR unit that if once you do your 3 daily missions a day or whatever, 2 a day, it takes about 2 months to unlock the character completely if you don't spend summon currency to get more missions, which I wouldn't recommend. I just do this daily for 2 months straight, and you'll unlock the SR units. And you can get dupes for them for free by doing and joining guilds and doing raids with them, and you can get your dupes through that way. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about these real fast. You'll be getting these little core dust boxes, the data set cases, and your credit cases. When you have these, I wouldn't recommend spending them early on. I would hold on to these for a little while. The reason being is because those will scale up with the level of what your outpost level is. I would recommend holding on to these until you get outpost level 40 to 45-ish, and then it's safe to burn those because they will give you more rewards the higher your outpost is, right? What the outpost is an AFK center. After X amount of hours, you'll be able to max it out. You'll just get a big burst of, extra resources. You can also wipe out once for free, and that will pretty much give you max rewards of what your outpost level is. So ideally, at the end of the day, you can do this if you want to early on. When you get to where I am, you can do it early on. It doesn't matter because you might not be able to get much farther anyway. And to level this up, you have to complete 5 missions or whatever in the story. So like whenever you progress in the story, you'll be every time you beat a stage, you'll get a block filled up. And it'll keep filling up every stage you beat. Once you beat 5 stages that count towards your defense outpost, you'll just level up instantly. So it's really nice for progression. So hold on to those cases until like 40, 45, and then you can open them up. Even around 30, I think it's more valuable. Just don't open them too early. Otherwise, you're losing out on really nice resources. Now, let's talk about the next thing, which is going to be your Nikkes. Yes, we're finally here. Here's my account showcase, by the way. Whoa-bam. Okay, so you have burst 1, burst 2, burst 3, and what does this mean? It means whenever you build a squad, you're going to want 1 of each in your team at least. So ideally 1 burst 2, 1 burst 1, 1 burst 3. Because you cannot activate a burst 2 or a burst 3 without the lower numbers. You can't activate a burst 2 unit without a burst 1 unit. You can't activate a burst 3 unit without a burst 2 units. So this is going to be how you unlock your full burst, to have 1 of each on your team. I have Litter, Dala, and then I have a bunch of burst 3 units. Depending on what your roster is, you can kind of mish and mash, right? But ideally, basically, Make sure you always have a burst 1 on your team. Make sure you always have one burst 2 in your team, and make sure you always have one burst 3 in your team, and then you can kind of build team synergies based off of that. For example, litter and volume are pretty much universal to any team because they're giving you cooldown, volume gives you crit rate, and then litter gives you damage. So relatively, you pick your poison. I think damage is overall more consistent, but you know, crit chance is still really nice. For your crit, for your 2, I think the best burst 2 I don't own her is actually Senti. But I do own probably one of the better ones, which is going to be Dalla. And what makes Dalla so good is that she's making my burst cooldowns a bit faster and also giving me some extra bonus stuff like attack, crit rate, and critical damage. Really nice units. And then for your burst 3, it's ideally, if you're going to be trying to push through the story, I would recommend one AoE unit that has a burst similar to like Scarlet, where once you pop her burst, it's just she hits everything on the field, right? Attacks all enemies and does massive damage. I would recommend one of those for mob clearing, and then as well, if you're able to, maybe a single target damage dealer like Power that's really good at killing bosses. Her S3 will just, you know, lock onto that unit with the highest attack, and she'll just punt kick it or something for a bunch of damage. If you want more manual control, units that have charge up skills can really helpful on their burst. For example, Snow White. Full light charge up her burst, and you can kind of pierce the enemy and do a bunch of damage. Snow White does a buttload of damage. I do want to actually get this another level eventually, and I should be able to do that very shortly, actually. So yeah, she's really, really good. Because you get to pick your target. I did say you get Privity for free. She's really awesome. Her burst 3 is actually a attacks all units, and she can stun, so that's really, really nice. I'm not running her much lately because I don't really need to, but she is a unit that I would recommend going for. The cool thing about her too is that she'll help out units that have certain restrictions on their, you know, emptying a whole clip and hitting the last enemy with a bullet. What she does is she's going to drop your ammo capacity, but up your reload speed and also up your attack, so you're able to cycle those passives faster. So she's going to be really good at certain units and make it to where you might have a synergy with that, right? You can read their kits, you can kind of break down what they do and kind of make up your own synergies, but for the most part, overall, it's really very interesting and kind of goes in depth. So you can have sniper teams, you can have shotgun teams, which you do want to get eventually. Having a shotgun team will be very helpful for later on. If you're curious why, eventually you'll unlock this thing called Interception, and whenever you get Interception S, the most consistent and best way to clear this thing is going to be a shotgun team, because you have to shoot these red circles and do enough damage with your whole team. It's just way easier to go with a full shotgun team and have them just shotgun spread shot every one of those little balls to make it to where units stuck. Don't go with a sniper team if it's destroyed. Salt mode, just trust shotgun team is the way for this one. For the train event, which you'll be doing early on, you can kind of run whatever the hell you want. It's a lot easier. When it comes to everything else, they have this tribe tower that you can do. This one is going to be the one you get introduced into, and when you grind it up, you'll get, you know, resources by grinding up higher. Obviously, the higher you go, the more of these you get. It seems like the resources and everything stays similar. Like, you'll get credits, you'll get core dust, and you usually get 100 gems every 10 or 5 or 10 levels, and then it's like half reward on the in-between stages. Eventually, you'll unlock the other towers too. What these are going to be type. What would you call this? So you have each unit a part of their own. I don't know what to call it. Their own faction, and you need X amount of these units to be able to do the faction. So you can use, for example, for the Pilgrim one, I only have 2 Pilgrims, but since they are really high level, I can still technically use them. But later on, I will need a full team. It's based off their power level. But overall, yeah, the game is really well. I hope I broke down everything decently. There is PvP, there is collabs. The banners are pretty okay. The free banner you can get free SSRs on. It's a lower rate, but once again, the free banner can give you SSRs. I would recommend not summoning on the standard banner with your actual crystals. Just grind out these recruit vouchers, which you get a lot early on, and use those instead. There is a pity system. It's a ticket system, but nonetheless, it is still a pity system. And overall, the game does feel quite nice on the PC port. So I think I covered everything that I needed to cover. If you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe. My first 3 weeks of playing this game have been nothing but positive, and I do enjoy the game. Thanks for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and hopefully I see you guys on Nikke. I'm on the NA server. If you want to add me, just add volume. Uh, you'll know my icon when you see it. It's literally this one right here. Bam. Add me. I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.